imyitwarire y'umucamanza ntabwo igarukira muri biro bye cyangwa umwanditsi, ntigarukira mu biro bye, ahubwo binadusanga mu ngo zacu aho tujya. N'ahangaha ibyo nakorera ahangaha ntabibazwa, ubu nitwaye nabi ahangaha ngeze ku kazi ntabibazwa. Twakomeza mu ngingo ya 6 y'itegeko rigenga imyitwarire y'abakozi b'inkiko. Umucamanza agomba kuba intangarugero no kugira imyifatire y'intangarugero. Agomba akurikije indahiro ye gutunganya imirimo ye atagize uruhande na rumwe abogamiraho. Twakomeza naho ingingo ya 7 iravuga ngo mu mibereho ye bwite n'iyo mu kazi. Ubona ko bahereye ku mibereho bwite, ni ukuvuga ngo mu rugo ahandi uko ubayeho, noneho mu kazi akaza ari inyongera. Buri mucamanza agomba kwirinda icyatuma atakaza icyizere cy'ababuranyi cyangwa icyakwangiza isura n'icyubahiro by'ubucamanza. Agomba kwishyura imyenda ye. Imyenda bundi ujya kwifata ntabwo akazi kazamo, ariko iyo wananiwe kwishyura imyenda yawe akazi kabizamo. Kwishyura imyenda ye no kumenya gucunga neza umutungo we, yirinda gutagaguza n'indi myitwarire igayitse nko kwiyandarika. Nta mucamanza wiyandarika yabikoze ubwo batangiye gutatira igihango, inzira ikurikiraho no kwigendera. Mu buryo bw'umwihariko rero agomba kwirinda ruswa n'ibyaha bifitanye isano nayo, akanayirwanya by'intangarugero. Twakomeza mu kutubahiriza ibikubiye muri iri tegeko bituma abacamanza n'abandi bakozi b'inkiko bitaba inama nkuru y'ubucamanza. Kandi ubwo bagiye kwitaba nyine aho hagiye gukurikiraho urugendo rwa disipurine. Ibyemezo rero bifatwa ntabwo rwose kujenjeka byo bibamo. Ubu ngubu ikintu nababwira ni uko umuntu ugize ibyago akitaba inama nkuru y'ubucamanza arega ruswa, ibimenyetso bikaba bigaragaza ko ruswa yayatse cyangwa yayakiriye, nta nubwo yirirwa yibaza byinshi, icyemezo aba akizi arataha. Ubwo ni mu rwego rw'akazi arirukanwa. Abiga amategeko hano bibabwire niba mufite no kuzashaka kuzajya kuba abacamanza. Ariko amategeko barimo hano ni bande? Mwifuza kuzajya mu nkiko? Nubundi nicyo kintu cya mbere. Kuba mwiga amategeko nuko mushaka no gutanga umusanzu wanyu mu nkiko. Ubwo rero kino kintu mukimenye. Umuntu wumva ashaka kuba umucamanza, kuba umwanditsi w'inkiko, ikintu cya mbere agomba kuba azi ni uko atemerewe kugira akadozi niyo kaba gatoya ka ruswa. Uvuga ngo agomba muri we kwivanamo, kwividura ikintu cyose cyamujyana muri ruswa. Uko arirukanwa, mwumva ikibazo gihari munakimenye. Kandi iyo yirukanwa mu bucamanza nta burenganzira afite wo kujya muri baro. Ntashobora kujya muri baro ngo bamwakire, yarirukaniwe ruswa mu bucamanza. Ntashobora kuba umushinjacyaha, nta nubwo ashobora no kongera kubona akazi mu nzego za leta. Murumva buryo umuntu hejuru y'akantu bavuga ngo ni akamanyu k'ubutsima, akantu kadashobora kugutunga ubuzima bwawe, kakakwica ubuzima bwawe bwose busigaye. Murumva ingaruka za ruswa uko zishobora kugira umuntu. Tugomba kumenya guhitamo rero. Imyitwarire yaboneka ko isanzwe kuri rubanda, ku bacamanza n'abakozi b'inkiko bo ntabwo ari ibintu bisanzwe. Reka rero turebe amwe mu makosa ashobora gutuma umucamanza yitaba inama nkuru y'ubucamanza. Wakomeza. Buriya guhora mu kabari ku bantu bisanzwe nta kibazo kibirimo. Wenda mwebwe ko muri abakristo mushobora kuba mutanywa inzoga ngo muhore mu kabari, ariko umuntu uhora mu kabari iriya myitwarire ishobora gutuma yitaba inama nkuru y'ubucamanza. Kuba bihemu, hari abantu kuba bihemu bitagize icyo bigize bitwaye, ariko iyo umuntu agaragaye ko ari bihemu ntashobora kumara igihe mu nzego z'ubucamanza. Yaba ari bihemu kuri banki, muzi ko na banki zijya zafisha iriya lisiti uyibonyeho umucamanza ubwo umenye ngo ari mu marembera. Kujya muri resitora ntiyishyure nabyo buriya yabizira, no kurya imyenda y'abandi nkamuguriza ntanyishyure buriya baje kumurega yabizira. Kimwe n'abantu batishyura ubukode bw'amazu barimo, kandi namwe bamwe mutangiye kwibahana, niba mutishyura muramenye ntimuzarirwe muza mu bucamanza ko ntabwo mwatindamo. Ariko nizere ko ibi mvuga ni ingero gusa, hari n'izindi ngero muzi zigaragaza ubuhemu n'imyitwarire ubundi idakwiye umuntu, ariko ku mucamanza bikaba ari icyaha gikomeye. Twakomeza. Mu myaka ine ishize kuva mu 2020 kugera mu 2024 abacamanza n'abandi bakozi b'inkiko bagera kuri 13 barahanwe bazira ibyaha bifitanye isano na ruswa. Bamwe muri bo bashyikirijwe inkiko, nuvuga ngo babaye baburanyi, bari abacamanza bahinduka ababuranyi. Abandi ntihabonetse ibimenyetso bihagije ku buryo bakurikiranwa, ariko barirukanwe mu kazi. Amabwiriza y'imitunganyirize y'akazi asiba ibyuho bya ruswa. Ubu nibyo turimo gushyiramo imbaraga kugira ngo turebe ko umubare w'abafatwa abakozi bacu ugabanuka. Twakomeza ko bivuye ahari. Mu byo rero twashyizemo imbaraga kugira ngo turebe ko twagabanya ibyuho bya ruswa, nuko twashatse ikoranabuhanga ngo turebe ko twagabanya contact hagati y'abacamanza, abanditsi n'ababuranyi. Niyo gituma ikirego cyose gitangwa hakoreshejwe ikoranabuhanga. Hanyuma uretse gatoya, hanyuma twanashyizeho uburyo bwo guca bwa president, nibaza ko mu byumva benshi, no guhuza imicire y'imanza ku bibazo bisa, ku buryo umucamanza aca urubanza uko yiboneye, ahubwo areba niba ikibazo cyaraciwe mu rukiko rumukuriye, akareba uko barezonnye akaba ari cyo akoresha. Hari ugushyiraho komite zishinzwe kurwanya ruswa mu nkiko n'amabwiriza bigenga, hakaba no gushyiraho ubugenzuzi bw'inkiko, noneho tugashyiramo umwe ushinzwe gukurikirana kurwanya ruswa. Hanyuma rero hajyaho n'icyumweru cy'ubukangurambaga nk'iki turimo cyo gusaba abantu kumenya ububi bwa ruswa no kuyirwanya. Twakomeza. Kurera kino cyumweru kirimo cyo kurwanya ruswa ni icyumweru twatangiye mu 2011 kikajya mu kwezi kwa kabiri, buri cyumweru cya kabiri cy'ukwezi kwa kabiri dukora icyumweru cyo kumenyesha abantu ububi bwa ruswa tunasaba kuyirwanya. Buri mwaka rero hakaba hari insanganyamatsiko tuba turi bukoreshe. Insanganyamatsiko y'umwaka wakomeza iragira iti amagana ruswa mu nkiko n'abakomisiyoneri bakubeshya ko bazakugererayo, ubutabera ntibugurwa. Abakomisiyoneri ni bantu ki? Abakomisiyoneri ni abantu biyitirira ko baziranye n'abacamanza cyangwa abakozi b'inkiko, bakaba bashobora kubwira umuntu wowe witinya uruze gusa nzakuhuza na kanaka. Akenshi rero barya abaturage amafaranga yabo, na wa wundi bamubwiye ko bazamuvugira ntibanamugereho. Wowe ukaba uzi ko watanze ruswa, ariko n'uwo wari uzi ko wayihaye ntimugereho. Ibyo rero bimenyekana kenshi iyo umuturage yatsinzwe, yarazi ko yatanze ruswa, agatangira kuvuga ati ko natanze amafaranga yanjye akaba natsinzwe. Wowe wajya gukurikirana ugasanga uwo wayahaye ntiyayagejeje nta handi. Ugasanga umucamanza yambaye urubwa rwo kurya ruswa nyamara nta ruswa yariye. Ibyo rero biri mu bituma noneho tuvuga ngo turwanye, haba abacamanza barya ruswa tubarwanye, ariko n'abandi babibitirira nabo tubarwanye. Twakomeza. Iyi nsanganyamatsiko yatoranyijwe hashingiwe ku ngeso mbi nyine narimaze kuvuga. Wakomeza. iyo umuburanyi abonye atsinze urubanza yibwira ko byatewe n'amafaranga yatanze, nyamara hari n'ababikora babiziranyeho n'abakozi b'inkiko. Ibyo nabyo ni ikintu tunavanyeho tugomba kubarwanya bose. Abo bose iki ni igihe nyacyo cyo kubarwanya n'abaturage bakabimenya ko ubutabera butagurwa. Agakomeza, aha rero umuntu yashobora kwibaza ko turi abanyeshuri tukaba atari ababuranyi, kuki mwaje kutubwira ibi bintu bijyanye no kurwanya ruswa? Ese kurwanya ruswa ni ngombwa kubibwira abanyeshuri? Impamvu rero ni iyi ngiyi. Igisubizo cya mbere cyo ni yego, ni ngombwa ko abanyeshuri bayimenya. Impamvu ya mbere ni uko ubanga gutenguha tuma mukuru muri bakuru. Reka tubatume, kuko abatanga ruswa n'abarya ruswa ni abavandimwe n'abaturanyi, ni bene wanyu, sibyo? Abanyeshuri bava mu muryango bagasubira mu muryango. Ikindi ni uko ruswa buriya yangiza sosiyete, kandi namwe muva muri sosiyete. Mwayitanga mutayitanga, ruswa ibagiraho ingaruka uburyo bumwe cyangwa ubundi. Igihugu cyamunzwe na ruswa nta butabera bukibamo. Iyo nta butabera buhari, nta shoramari ribamo, nta burenganzira bubamo. Ubu se mwishimira kuba mu gihugu nk'icyo ngicyo? Byabashimisha kuba mu gihugu mudafitemo uburenganzira? Ko mutansubiza? Ntabwo bibashimishije. Nawe tubashimishije rero, niyo mpamvu abanyeshuri bagomba kuba aba mbere bo kubirwanya. Hanyuma kandi ikindi buriya mutazi ni uko buri wese ashobora kuba umuburanyi anytime. Ushobora kuba umuburanyi wabishaka utabishaka. Ushobora kuvuga uti ngiye sinzigira na rimwe njyana ibibazo byanjye mu nkiko, ariko ntufite control ku wundi washaka kujyana mu nkiko. Ushobora kujyana mu nkiko akurenganyije ari ukagerayo. Icyo gihe rero ukeneye ubutabera bwigenga kugira ngo ubashe kurenganurwa, sibyo? Ukeneye ubutabera butarya ruswa kugira ngo uzabashe kurenganurwa igihe waba wahohotewe bakujyanye mu bintu utagomba kuburimo. Ariko bakujyanyemo ari urukiko rwamunzwe na ruswa, uzagenda urengana, ukomeze urengane, urangize urengana, urangire mu karengane, sibyo se? Kubirwanya rero no gutangira mbere utaranaba n'umuburanyi. Twakomeza. Martin Luther King, umva mumuzi, yigeze kubivuga ngo injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Donc mu Kinyarwanda twavuga ko akarengane aho kaba kari hose ni umwanzi w'ubutabera. Aba francophone bavuga ko l'injustice où qu'elle soit est une menace pour la justice où qu'elle se trouve. Ni ukuvuga ngo icyo tugomba kureba ni ukurwanya akarengane uko kaba kameze kose. Twakomeje. Komeza. Hari impamvu rero yihariye ituma abanyeshuri bo muri kaminuza twumva dukwiriye kuganira nabo kuri ibi bintu. Nari nayivuzeho ko nyine muri ingemwe zavuye muri sosiyete kandi musubira muri rubanda. Ariko kandi hari na devise, sinzi devise ya Iraq yariyo, ariko hari devise Kadina arayizi akiri Butare, twaravuga ngo turi illumination et salus populi, urumuri n'agakiza ka rubanda. Umuntu wese wajijutse, twakomeza yatangira kwibaza gute twamurikira abandi dute, twabakiza dute. Ibyo ni ibibazo umunyeshuri agomba kwibaza. Ntuze ahangaha uje gushaka amanota cyangwa impapuro, zahangaha uza kwibaza uburyo wahindura isi. Muzi ko n'umuhamagara abantu bahawe bakiremwa kugira isi nziza kurusha uko bayisanze. Ubwo rero n'umunyeshuri wa kaminuza wagize amahirwe yo kwinjira muri kaminuza agomba kwiga adashaka kugira impapuro gusa, ni ngombwa kugira ngo nazo zigaragaze nyine ko ibyo wabyize, ariko ari icyo ushyize imbere ntutinda kubona ko wibeshye n'akazi karanga. Ahubwo ikiri cyiza ni uko izo mpapuro ziza zishimangira ibyo wabashije kwiga kuko. Twakomeza. Ubwo nyine biradusaba ko muri twebwe tuba twifitemo urumuri. Hanyuma rero duhagaze gute mu ruhando mpuzamahanga? Turebye mu myaka yashize tuza no kureba ubu ngubu. Mu mwaka ushize twari abantu ku mwanya 49 mu bihugu 180, dufite amanota 53 ngira ngo 53. Tukaba twarakurikiraga Seychelles, Cap Vert na Botswana. Hanyuma muri East Africa ibindi bihugu bizi inyuma cyane nka Tanzania yazaga 47 ifite amanota 40, Kenya ikaza ifite make kurushaho. Ariko ni ibihugu cya nyuma cyari Somalia cyari gifite amanota 11, ari nacyo cyari cya nyuma 180. Sudan y'Amajyepfo ko nayo urumva cyasubiye inyuma, Sudan isubira inyuma kurushaho, ubigeze ku 8. Urumva ni bibi cyane. Muri uyu mwaka ho rero mu cyatangajwe ejo bundi rwose umunsi wa 13 kuri 11 z'uku kwezi kwa kabiri, amanota yarazamutse tuva ku 56 tugiye kuri 57. Ariko ubwo abaturi imbere uwa mbere afite 90. Urumva ko aradusiga cyane. Turacyafite byinshi byo gukora kugira ngo natwe tugere aho ngaho. Turaba gatatu, ariko none biriya bihugu byari bituri imbere n'uri turagikumwe, Seychelles, Cap Vert, Botswana yari turi imbere bushize, ubu turanganye. Ubwo rero no kureba uburyo niba turi imbere bindi tutera intambwe tukabifata muri imyaka iri imbere. Ubu ku rwego rw'isi turi 43 muri East Africa, nkuko mwabibonye na mbere hose turacyara. Ntabwo twavuga ko twageze iyo tujya kubera ko turacyafite byinshi byo gukora. Mu bihugu bifite amanota 50% ni kimwe cya gatatu gusa, ibindi bya gatatu biri munsi ya 50. Bivuga ngo ni muri esheke. Bumva ni ikibazo gikomeye, ariko natwe turacyafite byinshi byo gukora kuko nko muri imyaka 5 ishize imanza zirebana na ruswa zaregewe RIB ni 2437, zikaba ziregwamo abantu bagera ku 972. Kandi ntabwo twakwibagirwa yuko iyi ni imibare y'abantu baregewe RIB. Abataregewe RIB bari benshi. Ushobora no gusanga namwe hano wenda mugura amanota simbizi. Nyagasana azabibakiza, ariko niba munabikora mugura amanota mugura iki mukopera, oya, Nyagasana azabibarinde. Twakomeza. Uyu muyobozi witwa François Valérien atangaza iyi raporo y'uyu mwaka yaravuze ngo ruswa ni ikibazo gikomeje kugariza isi, giteza ibibazo birenze kudindiza iterambere, akaba ari n'impamvu muzi isubiza inyuma demokarasi, umutekano muke no kutubahiriza uburenganzira bw'ikiremwamuntu. Akaba rero asaba umuryango mpuzamahanga n'ibihugu byose, ubwo ni ukuvuga ngo natwe twese namwe mwese, ko dukwiriye gufatanya kurwanya ruswa nk'ingamba ya ngombwa kandi iramba. Urwo rugamba mwemeje kurujyamo? Mwasubije. Urugamba rurabareba cyangwa muraruduhari? Turi kumwe? Okay, twakomeje. U Rwanda rero rwifuza ko muri 2050 rwifuza ko ruzaba ari urwa mbere. Kandi ngumvise ko wa mbere turusha amanota menshi cyane, ariko 90 twe turi kuri 57. Ubwo rero nimwebwe muzamuyobora igihugu, twebwe turi mu nzira zo kujya muri retraite, muzagere muri ya ntego. Sibyo? Urabona target yariyo, mwebwe muri muzamuyobora icyo gihe muzabigereho. Kandi muzabivuga ati itariki niyo twari turi muri Unirake tubyiga, tubyiyemeza tunabisinya. twakomeza. Twibutse ko ruswa ari icyaha kidasaza. Ibyo biri mu itegeko. Ingingo ya 19 y'itegeko twavuze rirwanya ruswa, nta buryozwacyaha bubaho ku muntu watanze cyangwa wakiriye indonke ubimenyesha inzego z'ubutabera mbere y'uko akurikiranwa. Iyi ni ingingo ibereyeho guproteja abantu batanga amakuru kuri ruswa. Umuntu ashobora kwaka ruswa ukabura uko ugira ukayitanga, ariko iyo ugiye ugahita umuvuga ntabwo ukurikiranwa. Iyo utabikoze inzego zikabizabimenya ko wabikoze, ziragukurikirana ugahanwa kimwe n'uwayigusabye. Itegeko kandi nimero 44/2017 ryo muri 2017 rirengera abatanga amakuru ku byaha, ibikorwa cyangwa imyitwarire biyanyuze n'amategeko. Komeza. Wakomeza. Donc rino tegeko navuga ko rirengera abantu batanga amakuru. Wagira nza ya nyuma. Iyi niyo slide ya nyuma. Akaba ariyo nk'isezerano nashaka ko tuhagirana. Mbasaba ngo mudufashe kurwanya ruswa, tubigire inshingano kandi tunumve ko ari inshingano mboneragihugu ku muntu wese ukunda igihugu cye. Ntiwabwira abantu ko ukunda igihugu kandi wimakaza ruswa. Ntiwabwira abantu ko ukunda igihugu utanga ruswa. Murakoze cyane, Imana ibahe umugisha.
Thank you very much for the good presentation. I will request Justice Geraldine to summarize shortly.
So I think I will end where my colleague started. Is it necessary that this presentation, we have it with students, university students? Is it relevant for you? Do you really need this kind of presentation? Kiganiro muragikeneye? Muragikeneye? Cyari ngombwa? Was it necessary? Or it is forced on you? Eh? Is it necessary that we talk about corruption in this room? Because we usually think corruption is for people who are working. They are the ones who have money to bribe you. But you don't have money. Do you have money? When you think about corruption, it's big people with huge, lots of money. Do you have money? Oh, you have it. Okay. No, on a serious note, do you really have money? Oh, some of you have money. Very, very good. But is the corruption only about money? What else is it about?
Some of them offer, they want sexual intercourse to be having what? That is also a part of corruption.
Yes, this is why it is. I'm not going to summarize word by word, but we are trying to see how is it relevant for you. What do you take as a young person, as a university? They're talking about being a potential litigant. Some of you think about lawyers being in court, but we're yet to come to you. So your colleague has said that some people demand sexual intercourse. But when we talk about sexual intercourse, we are thinking about girls. You meet somebody in the office, and so you raise your, and somebody says, boss, please raise your skirt or put it down. There are also some women who want sex with men. If you want your grades to be changed, please, young man, remove your pants. I need a young man. You might be demanded sex from as a young person, as a man. Don't necessarily think the victims are the ladies. It happens, except many don't talk about. You cannot go in Africa, in the streets crying that they have said in the streets they have removed my pants. What kind of man are you? Couldn't you tighten it? Couldn't you fight back? Isn't it? Isn't it? Would really men go around saying they asked for corruption, for sex from me? And some men would report. Very few would report. What kind of man are you? You should have said no. How can she look at you in the face and say, please remove your pants? Yeah, you say, but that is a good thing. Okay, please come around. Remove it yourself. When she removes it herself, is that corruption? No, but you have said, please come, try yourself. So that it is not you, it is her. Anyhow, all I'm trying to say is that this topic is very, very, very relevant for all of us, regardless of age, regardless of what we do. Currently, some of you are working. Are some of you working at the same time as students? Some of you are working, very few are working. But even as students, where would you really encounter corruption? Where would the students encounter corruption? Change of grades? Maybe looking for accommodation? Maybe looking for a job, isn't it? Maybe you're about to go to the streets to look for jobs. So you're a very nice looking lady. You cannot just talk about, I'm looking for a job, then what? You add something. Yes, I have the file, but add something. Add something. You have to add something to your file. That something is your beauty. Yeah, add something to the file. There is a file, there is an application. Complete. So add something. So the whole topic is about the fight, the campaign against corruption is a responsibility for all of us, whether you're a Rwandan or you're not. Which other nationalities are here other than Rwandan? Liberia? Is there corruption in Liberia? Aha. There's corruption. Sudan, the Sudan or the South Sudan? North. The Sudan. Is there corruption in the Sudan? Is there corruption? Don't fear to say, nobody's going to arrest you. Yes. Anywhere else? I've been to South Sudan for 10 days, sleeping in the hotel, the Crown. I don't know whether it is still there. Yes. So they thought I'm South Sudanese, but I looked a little bit more bright, light-skinned. More light-skinned. But some people are light-skinned, except that in some areas I'm light-skinned. Some other nationalities, please. Yes? Sierra Leone. Do we have corruption there? Where else? Do we have anybody from Uganda? Where? Where is he from? Uganda. We have seen those places of Kansime where the taxi man says, he stands there outside, but he's touching, the arm is there. Much as Kansime, that comedian does that, it really, really happens. It happens. It is our country, we love it, but there's corruption, high-level corruption. Where else? Where else? Which other nationality? Gabon. Do we have corruption in Gabon? There is corruption. Where else? Kenya. Kenya, there is corruption. Where else? Anybody from Tanzania? Anyhow, if we had time, I would have narrowed down the question, where do you think in Togo? Where do you think in Togo is more corruption in the institutions of government or private institutions? In Uganda, where do you think there is more corruption than the other? I could have narrowed it down. Is it the judiciary? Is it by him in the legislative assembly? Those members of parliament who give themselves, I don't know, the salaries and the... We hear these things. So if we had time, we could have narrowed it down the question to where specifically do you think there is corruption or there is more corruption. So you as young people, do you really feel it is painful to see your country having that much corruption? Is it painful for you in Uganda to see that level of corruption? What about Togo? Can anybody trust somebody from Togo or from Sierra Leone with those levels of corruption, or Uganda? Can somebody trust somebody from Liberia? Sorry? Sorry?
They are all African countries, so corruption is everywhere.
Corruption is everywhere. But we are now talking about also giving an example of Rwanda. We are saying in Rwanda there isn't zero corruption. We are not saying there is zero corruption. But we are saying we have really campaigned, we have really tried hard, and the levels of corruption are that low. So we want it even to be eradicated. That cannot be done by anybody. You know, you think His Excellency can fight corruption alone? You think a minister can fight corruption alone? It needs you and I. When they talk about you being a potential litigant, everybody being a potential litigant, what do you understand? An aspiring lawyer, when they say you are a potential litigant, my colleagues talked about everybody being a potential litigant. We are now breaking down instead of giving it as summary, that formal summary, I'm picking a few things, highlights. What does it mean for you to be a potential litigant? What my colleague said is that any one of us is a potential litigant. What does that mean? It means it's possible that you might find yourself in court. You might not take a case there, but somebody might take you there. Somebody, whether you want it or not, somebody might take you there. Or take your son or your daughter or your mother. Sometimes we see these things on the social media. But these things happen. So we have courts. Who do you think comes to court? Those people are families. They are our relatives, isn't it? Sometimes our friends, sometimes our siblings. So it's possible that any one of us can find ourselves in a court. So when you go to court, what do you want to find? Justice. What do you want to find? Justice. How do you get justice? Would you want to say something about justice? Like what comes to mind when you say, I want justice? Somebody says, what's your name? Josiane says, when she goes to court, she wants to file a case. So she wants to file a case, that's the process. He wants justice. So I'm filing a case. And when I have filed a case, I want justice. You cannot get justice, you cannot get fairness unless you have fair institutions. Unless you have corrupt-free justice systems. You want to find men and women of integrity seated on the bench. Whether you offer them any money, whichever money you can offer, whichever cars, whichever bags of money, dollars from, I don't know, Liberia they have, I don't know whether it is dollars or what. Liberian dollars. When they offer me Liberian dollars, because their son who is in Rwanda has landed in trouble. Now they are bringing dollars, American dollars plus Liberian dollars to me in the Court of Appeal. As they come to file their cases in the registrar, they are taking to the chief registrar bags of money from Liberia to entice her more. Lots of money. So you want to find men and women of integrity who will say, I think this is the wrong place. That's the only way you can get justice. Apart from having education, like you have people who are educated on the bench, seated hearing your cases, they're educated, they experienced. But if they are men and women, if they're not women and men of integrity, there is no justice. They can only have justice. You can only have justice if there is a corruption-free bench. seated to listen to you and give you justice. So how do we do that? We build a society from which those judges will be appointed. You don't wait until the judges are there. The judges will not come from nowhere. They will come from all of us, from all the lawyers. Some of you are lawyers, isn't it? And aspiring lawyers. So you will find yourselves as judges. Some of you are going to be appointed judges. Others, lawyers. Others are going to be agents of lawyers and agents of the bench. Do you want to be agents of the bench? The answer is no. Some of you are going to be the head of Anti-Corruption Commission. Some of you are going to head, I don't know what you are going to be, the head of investigation. They are RIB, equivalent of RIB. The Rwanda Investigation Bureau. So you have the Liberia Investigation Bureau, you have Sierra Leone. So there are several things you are going to do. So a corruptive-free society will come from nowhere, not that time. That time, it will come from you. Is there anything that pains you to see corruption? Does it pain you to see corruption in your country? Does it pain you? Birababaza. Cyangwa abanyarwanda kubera yuko nta kenshi abanyarwanda corruption turayumva ariko ntabwo ari cyane ntabwo ijeje turuhande rwose. Iyo uyirebye ntabwo uyibona. Cyokora ishobora kukugwaho itarutse. Ariko kenshi mu bindi bihugu corruption iri ahantu hose urayibona ugira ujye ukabona corruption ikintu cyose ari corruption. I'm saying some Rwandans, these questions are not necessarily relevant for them. They don't see so much corruption. On the streets of some African countries, you can see corruption. In Kampala, you can see it. In Tanzania, you can see it. In Kenya, I have been there. You can see corruption. You just turn away. You are in Burundi, you can see corruption at the airport. You can see corruption. So in Rwanda, you don't know these things we are talking about, but we pray that they never come back. So fight hard. The campaign is now and all the time, and you are part of the campaign. And the non-Rwandans still need this because you are in Rwanda, and you are in Africa, and you are in a global society. You need to live in a corrupt-free world, in a corrupt-free country. That is Rwanda, that is your home country, and any other country where you will be based, isn't it? Isn't it? But first of all, did we understand that we in the judiciary, we are much more punished, like the punishment for corruption is heavier than for other people. Did you understand that? Because there is expected high level of conduct. So there's a judicial code of conduct. So if I'm a judge and I borrowed money from Josiane and I took long to pay her, if I was an ordinary person, I should say, I'll wait, but if it is 2 years, then I'll take her to court. But should it be a judge and they take me to the Judicial Council, I am in trouble. As a judge, I should set a good example to everyone. They can live an exemplary life. There are judges who are corrupt. Some of them, very few we have. In the judiciary, we don't have money, but there are some elements, sometimes once in a while because we're human beings. Once in a while, you get some elements of corruption. Because they offer, maybe you are deep in the village, you don't have enough salary, so they offer you some money. And we have some elements of support staff who will say, I'll talk to that judge. It so happened that somebody was requested for money, that he will talk to me. And I did not know that he got the money until I saw in the media him handcuffed with lots of money. I don't know, 10 million or something. That he had promised he would talk to me. So some of you can land in trouble. Don't be promised those lots of money. Work for your money. Work for your money. Work for your money, isn't it? Put on your jacket. Now you cannot afford many jackets. You only have one should there be an interview, isn't it? You only have one. Some of you don't have any jacket to look nice. It's okay. It's okay. Don't allow to be agents of corruption. You can be an agent of corruption, you end in jail. While others are graduating, you are crying in jail, isn't it? You did not even enjoy that money. You end in jail because you raised your skirts and somebody was doing things in the skirts or in your pants. You did not even enjoy anything. But it is labeled on you. She was in jail because her skirts were at you. In Iraq, I remember that girl. Her skirts were up. She's in prison because of her skirts. No, work for your grades. You will pass. You have the ability to pass. You have the ability to do well. You have to command respect by refusing to be corrupt. As an agent, to be corrupted, or to be an agent of corruption. Isn't it? I want to give my colleague, maybe before I give my colleague a microphone to say something. Is there anything you would want to know about corruption here so that we tackle on it? And do you have any questions? Anything you want to know about corruption? Then I'll share a microphone. My colleagues can respond or myself. Ariko mwabyumvishije abanyarwanda bimwe yego ntimubyumva kwera ko nta ruswa ihari ko hagarara neza emera kuba umukene ariko wanga agasuzuguro ko gukoreshwa ibya ruswa sibyo wange kuba icyuho cya ruswa wihagarare uwo mukobwa mwiza uhagarare neza bamenye ngo uriya mukobwa ngo yari umukene ku ishuri niwe wenyine wageraga menshi zigenda zigwa ngo ariko yangaga agasuzuguro abahungu ngo nta nubwo umuhungu yamwengeraga ngo wabaga wamubaza izina umubaza iki uwo mukobwa wari umukene ariko wiyubahaga. Be called that girl who was like really poor, like really poor, but who had self-respect. And among her peers commanded respect and authority because of her conduct. Be that woman. Do you want to be that woman? You think to wait when you are a minister? It is now at school. It's now at school. The men here, isn't it? The men here, isn't it? Or we should have a conversation for the men. You know, we are all together. There is no man without a woman. You are our brothers, you are friends, you are the fathers to be, you are our sons, isn't it? Where do you come from? South Sudan. I told you I was eating rice in the Crown Hotel. So, let me give a microphone to who? Shami. Shami, do you know what Shami means? Shami. A branch. That could be a historical name, like it's something to do with the history of her family. Shami, like he branched from a stem. That's whether the stem or the tree is or was, but it's still not there, but still the branch was somewhere there, and now there is a branch.
Thanks. I would like to use Kinyarwanda if it's possible.
Yes.
Okay. Nari mfite ibibazo bijya muri bitatu sinzi niba atwara umwanya munini. Nta kibazo. Okay. Tubanza tubashimira cyane kabisa kubwo impuguro nziza no kugenda mudeza n'inama nziza. Nari mfite ibibazo bijya muri bitatu reka mbere ku cyambere. Hari ikintu basorejeho kivuga ngo ati ese igihe umuntu noneho yatanze ruswa akabirega se cyangwa akajya kurega umuntu cyangwa se agatanga amakuru, hari itegeko rimurengera akaba atakurikiranwa. Sinzi niba mbivuze neza.
rwego rwo gushishikariza abatanga amakuru.
ndibaza ese umucamanza niba yayitanze akaba noneho yagaruka akajya kurega, ese hari iryo tegeko riramurengera cyangwa rirengera? Yayitanze ese n'urugero ashobora kubaho wenda nk'urugero wenda ashaka kuyitanga wenda ashaka wenda nk'urugero nka perimese cyangwa ikindi kintu runaka, akaba cyangwa amushakira iri ishuri akaba yayitanga nk'ubwo buryo. Ese mu gihe noneho yayitanze biremeye iryo tegeko ko rimurengera cyangwa rirengera abantu muri rusange, abaturage muri rusange, we ntabwo rimurengera? Icyo ni ikibazo cya mbere. Ikibazo
kiri muri isi, umucamanza nawe ari muri uwo ari we wese watanga amakuru mu batanga amakuru.
Icyo ni ikibazo cya mbere. Ikibazo cya kabiri nagira ngo mbaze, noneho ese twabonye ibihugu bigiye bitandukanye biri mu kigero cyiza cyo kugendera kure ya ruswa. Twabonye Denmark ko iza ku mwanya wa mbere. Narindi kubaza, twabonye ibihugu bigiye bitandukanye ku rwego rw'isi, tunareba n'amaranks yabyo agiye atandukanye, tubona ko u Rwanda ruri ku mwanya wa 3 muri Afurika, urubanzizwa na Seychelles ndakeka, ariko tubona ku rwego rw'isi ko Denmark iri ku mwanya wa mbere. Ikibazo nari mfite, ese ni izihe ngamba bo bagendeye kugira ngo babashe kujya kuri uwo mwanya mwiza, kugira ngo natwe byibuze wenda dushobora kubafatiraho icyitegererezo n'abanyarwanda se cyangwa nk'abantu bifuza kuzaba abacamanza se cyangwa icyo tugomba gukora se cyangwa ingamba bagendeyeho. Ikibazo cya gatatu aricyo nacyo cya nyuma, nagira ngo baze se mu gihe umucamanza yarezwe bikaba ngombwa n'urugero icyaha bamureze ugasanga bikaba ngombwa yuko kitamuhama, ese nta cyasha kimuzaho icyo gihe ku buryo bishobora kuzamuzanira izindi ngaruka mu gihe runaka se cyangwa akaba ari munsi y'umutuku? Sinzi ko niba mbivuze neza, ariko
cyo wavuze cy'umucamanza ushobora kwisanga atanga ruswa ngo atanga hari ikintu wagihujeho n'amakuru.
Yatanze amakuru, kuko twabonye ko ari itegeko rirengera umuturage. Watanze
oya aravuga umucamanza gutanga ruswa akayiha tuvuge gushaka perimi, ariko yangiza akavuga ati umupolisi namuhaye ruswa. Ariko najya mubwire uwo muntu ntabwo agenda yitwa umucamanza, agenda yitwa amazina ye. Niba ari Shami w'umucamanza ubusanzwe wagiye gushaka perimi, yagiye yitwa Shami, ni Shami ushaka perimi. Ntabwo perimi ihabwa umucamanza, perimi ihabwa Shami. Urumva? Ubwo rero ari ibintu bigomba gutandukanye.
To begin with, Shami is asking 3 questions. Number 1, there might be a scenario that the Chief Registrar of the Supreme Court ended by saying that there is the law on corruption is more favorable, is protective of the people who give information, the informants about corruption. So if you go and report that I have seen somebody in the corrupt something, so you give information about corruption, the law is more favorable so that people can come forward and give information about corruption. In this case, Shami was saying there might be a judge who is participating in a corruption case, is giving corruption. For example, a judge wants a driving permit. So she needs to bribe somebody to get it because she's not sure she will pass. Or she has made an attempt several times, but this time she's tired, she wants really a driving permit. So will the judge also be favorable by the law? Will the law look at her as an informant? So my colleague was going to respond. Question number 2 of Shami. He was talking about the high levels of zero tolerance corruption in Denmark. Is it Denmark? Like those countries that are higher than Rwanda. What have they done? What are the strategies that they have used? What are the strategies in place that they have used to come to that level of almost being corruption free? Is there anything we can do to learn from them? Icyagatatu cyari cyo. So, if there is a judge or a judicial officer, you can be a registrar, you can be a judge, and they take you to court with allegations of corruption. But when you go through the court process, the court does not, the whole process and the court's decision is that this judge is not found guilty. So if you're not found guilty as a judicial officer, or as specifically in this particular case of Shami as a judge, even if the court says she is acquitted or he is acquitted, he's not, we do not find her guilty. Doesn't that really leave a scar on you? Doesn't it hurt your career? Doesn't it hurt your image as a judicial officer, as a judge? Much as you are not found guilty. But when people keep saying, aha, they had reported that she was involved in corruption. We don't even know. Yes, she was acquitted. Maybe it is those who are corrupt, her friends, or those who are corrupt like her. So there might be several things that will be said, but doesn't it tarnish your name? Doesn't it tarnish your image as a judicial officer, as a judge? Yes, you are responding? They are suggesting that first respond to Shami and then we come to the librarian. Yeah, we are saying to librarian.
ndashaka kugira icyo mvuga ku kibazo cya mbere cya Shami. Iyo uriya mucamanza wajya gutanga amakuru ntakiri umucamanza ubwo abikora mu izina rye, sibyo? Donc umuntu yitwa umucamanza, umwanditsi w'urukiko yari mu nshingano ze. Rero tubanje kwibaza n'izo ruswa zitanze gute? Peut-être ukorompa mugenzi we. Nk'ubu ntabwo nshobora kuza ngo njye gushuka mugenzi wanjye mugushe muri ruswa ninagize njye gutanga amakuru hanyuma ngo mvuge ngo ikanaka yari ruswa kandi ninjye wamujyanyemo. Ubwo nicyo babazaga nyine kigiye mugushije mu mutego narangiza nkajya kumutanga banjye bazamproteje. Nicyo kibazo cyawe. Okay, ntabwo itegeko rivuga uwatanze amakuru ninde n'iki, ntabwo ribivuga uwo ari we, bavuga gutanga amakuru. Ariko tugiye muri logique, ukajya no kureba uwatanze amakuru n'icyatumye atanga amakuru, n'icyatumye itegeko rijyaho. Iyo tugiye gukora analyse y'itegeko na applicabilité yaryo, tubanza no kureba ngo kuki umushinga amategeko yashyizeho iyi ngingo. Iyi ngingo rero ntabwo yashyiriweho kugira ngo duprotege abanyabyaha. Iyi ngingo yagiyeho kugira ngo dukangurire abantu gutanga amakuru. Umucamanza rero ashinzwe kurwanya ruswa. Ntabwo ari we wa mbere washinga gutanga ruswa no kugusha abandi muri ruswa ngo narangiza yibwire ko turi umugire, kuko niwe shingiro. Nubwo ashobora kwitwaza itegeko ntabwo ryabivuze, par conséquent nanjye ndimo, ariko uburyo bwo interpret itegeko ashobora kudahabwa, ashobora uko bidategwa n'uzajya kwanaliza urubanza. Itegeko ntabwo ribivuga ngo rigatandukanye, ariko ntabwo nko muri conseil yacika abashinzwe kumugenzura by'imyitwarire, kuko imyitwarire ye ntabwo ari inyangamugayo, sibyo? Ubwo no kuvuga ngo ashobora kudakurikiranwa penalty, ariko muri judiciary we twamwirukana. Byo rwose bimenye. Itegeko tuvuge niba itegeko ntabwo wikirira itegeko nirwanya ruswa, ntabwo rireba imyitwarire, tubitandukanye, sibyo? Ku myitwarire ye tufite andi mategeko. Itegeko rya mbere rimugenga nirimubwira ngo umucamanza ni inyangamugayo, wayibonye ingingo ya 6 n'ingingo ya 7. imyitwarire iri kuri high level, ntabwo tuyisuzumira mu bibonetse byose. Ni ukuvuga rero ngo iyo myitwarire ituma ashobora kujya gukorompa mugenzi we, nubwo yajya kumutanga yarangije gutakaza ubunyangamugayo. Ni ukuvuga ngo niyo yaryitwa rya tegeko, ubwo yabijyanye muri penal, ku bushinjacyaha, ku bugenzacyaha, sibyo, abandi kazagaruka ku mucamanza muri penal, ariko ku myitwarire ntabwo akiri umucamanza. Rero rwose byo I guarantee you ntabwo bishoboka. Nubwo icyari gisigaye ni ukumenya ese azahanwa ntazahanwa, bizaterwa n'imikorere y'icyaha n'uburyo yakigaragaje n'uburyo yireguye. Ibyo byose ndi bubitindeho, uko izo nzego zose zigomba kubireba. Duhuza itegeko n'ibyabaye, noneho agatanga igihano. Ndibaza ko wabyumvise.
Tutarajya ku kibazo cye, sinzi niba ku kibazo cya kabiri ibajije impamvu ki Denmark yabaye ya mbere, sinzi niba bakigushubije, ariko ingamba nibaza ko ni uguhozaho, ni ibingibi kuza kwigisha, gusobanurira abantu cyane cyane nk'urubyiruko uburenganzira. Urubyiruko rugera henshi muri famiye, ukamenya uburenganzira bw'umuntu. Icyo ni icya mbere. Iyo usobanukiwe n'uburenganzira bwawe, usobanukirwa noneho no kuvuga ngo tuvuge nko mu rukiko, ubutabera cyangwa se uburenganzira bwawe ntabwo bugura, buhabwa n'itegeko, ntabwo ubugura. Ntihagire n'undi muntu wese azaza kubeshya ubigize komisiyoneri ngo arakugererayo, kuko niko baza bababeshya, ngo arakugererayo ku mucamanza, kandi ntabyo, we akagarukira aho ngaho akaba yakuvukije ibyawe. Njye rero nibaza ko na Denmark kugira ngo igere hano, ingamba ari ukwigisha, gukaza amategeko ashobora guhana ruswa, kandi ni uguhozaho, kuko natwe u Rwanda ntabwo twamye turi kuri uyu mwanya. Hari igihe twabaye aba 52, ku mwanya wa 52, ku mwanya wa 49, gutyo, ariko ni uguhozaho twigisha. Nk'iki cyumweru cyo gusobanurira kurwanya ruswa twashyizeho mu rukiko, ariko ntabwo kurwanya ruswa biba muri iki cyumweru cyonyine, ni uguhozaho. Tugasaba rero ubufatanye bwanyu, niyo mpamvu tuba twaje no kubasobanurira ubufatanye bwanyu, inzego zitandukanye, cyane namwe urubyiruko, abanyeshuri mu mategeko, kugira ngo mudufashe gusobanurira abantu uburenganzira bwayo, mudufashe gusobanurira abantu uburyo ruswa ari imungu igihugu, imungu umuntu uyaka ubwe ikamugira ikintu ntaba agata ubumuntu, kuko iyo bamaze kuba igikoresho cy'umuntu ukwaka ruswa, ntubukire umuntu, ubumuntu urawutakaza, uba igikoresho cye. Ejo abazi ngo nejo nzamutuma wundi amuhe ruswa, gutyo. Nibaza rero ko ni izo ngamba zirimo kwigisha, zirimo guhana bikomeye, n'ibindi byinshi umuntu yakwigira kuri Denmark kugira ngo tugere kuri aho bageze. Ariko natwe turagenda dutera imbere, ahubwo ni ukubisigasira.
As the dean goes to Liberia, but the seat of Liberia in Kigali. Yes. Two things. One, the chief registrar of the Supreme Court was saying that judge that goes to give somebody money to get a driving permit, whichever act of corruption he or she is involved in, does not go as a judge. You're a judge because you're in court. You're a judge because you are you are in the premises. You're a judicial officer. You are the registrar because you are in the court. But when you are out there behaving, and actually the behavior is attached to your profession. So when the behavior is attached to the outside world, to something other than your profession, then you are going in your own name. Umugwaneza Geraldine, Nushaka Peri. Do I go as a judge that I want a driving license? No, I say, okay, the driving license is in my names. So, Ninde Umugwaneza Geraldine, okay. Something, yes, I have an envelope for you. Is the envelope coming from a judge? It's coming from me. So you go as an individual. So the act is in you, is on you as an individual, not as a judge. And of course, when you are caught in that corruption, you will be punished, but they will track it from the individual to a judge. Then they will relate that kind of conduct. I think the punishment will be severe. And my colleague Yvette was saying that in terms of Denmark, what are they doing? What can we do? In Rwanda, it is campaign, continuous campaign everywhere, among the youth, among the old, among everywhere, at our places of work, in the market, everywhere. So we have to campaign against corruption. But one important thing she has said is consistency in our strategies. Whichever strategies we have put in place to fight corruption is consistency. 3, she has indicated that, please recall that in the judiciary, there are too many strategies that we have put. One is the judicial week. Much as we do campaign against corruption, but there is a specific judicial week in the month of February. So that's that. We do campaigns everywhere, and all the time, but Feb is the climax of the campaign against corruption. 2, in the judiciary, there is a committee for fighting corruption that goes everywhere, that goes to different groups of people, targeting different groups of people to talk about the dangers of corruption. And especially the young people. You are the future leaders, isn't it? Do you believe you are the future leaders? Yes. Do you believe once we were in your position, we were as young as we were? Yeah. At school, sometimes without knowing what we shall do. We didn't know we would be judges. We didn't know what we would do. People were coming to talk to us like we are talking to you. Sometimes we are not attending, other times we are attending. But attend these talks, attend. Every time at the university where I was in Butare, whenever somebody was coming to talk to us, whether it is raining or shining, whether I was hungry or not, I would go. At least to listen, what is the country doing? What are they saying? When they say, I am the young people, tomorrow I'll be this, how would I get there? What will you find? How will you know where to find what? So don't be lying down, so what were they taking? Those Rwandese, those what? I know they were talking to those lawyers. No. A young person is not just for Rwanda. Just go there, position yourself. You never know where your blessing will come from. Or you are going to write papers, isn't it? Well, are you doing the undergraduate or the postgraduate? What are you doing, your master's or your undergraduate? Do you already have topics? Do you have topics you are going to write about? What about corruption? Consider about writing about corruption. Suggest this. Rwanda, you have done so well. But there are loopholes. At least if you're doing a paper on corruption in Rwanda, you'd have data. If you're fearing to write about corruption in the Sudan, if you're afraid. I was in Khartoum on your 2nd to 5th May. 2nd to 5th May 2014, I was in Khartoum. 2nd to 5th May 2014, I was in Khartoum. Yeah. I was there. I was there. So I've been to some of these places. I'm blessed. So, write a paper about corruption. That's the beginning. Then somebody will, hey, there is a very good piece. Then it is not only in the inboxes of the school. How will you link it to the New Times so people can know? much as he's Liberian, much as he's from Sierra Leone. But this is a good writer. This is a young man. He cannot tolerate corruption. Somebody one day can recommend, just from this position, from a mere talk, you can pick it up from here and you become an important person, a master of that subject. And you end somewhere. And then you say, oh, I remember that old woman came to talk to us. I remember. Do I look so old? I don't. December 15 is my birthday and I turned 51. I turned 5-1. So I don't know, maybe for you are in your 20s, 30 years older than you. I think let's go to Liberia, and I think Liberia is the last one, isn't it? In the interest of time. Okay. If you are in love with us, please invite us again, please. If you have fallen in love, let love push you to invite us back. We are ready to come. If we are pulled by love, we shall come back, isn't it? Do we agree that we will only listen to Liberia, and then when you feel your love is somewhere, you invite us back?
Yes.
Okay, Liberia, please. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. My name is Winston Cooper, and I'm from Liberia. Okay, I'm sorry for sitting, but I feel comfortable sitting, okay? All right, so...
I feel very comfortable, and I want to identify myself with you. Yes, this is it. How will you speak in public?
Thank you.
Let me say you feel comfortable standing, lying down like that. No. Yes, let me support you here.
Okay, so my name is Winston Cooper, and I'm from Liberia. You know, first and foremost, before I ask my question, I want to say I'm so honored to be the last person to ask the last question. One thing I must acknowledge here today is that your presentation today was so educative. You know, some of us came from a society where there is a massive corruption, starting from the central government to the judiciary system. All the 3 branches of government, there is a massive corruption. So I don't want you to answer my question by speaking to Rwandese, because I know most of them did not see the kind of massive corruption we are seeing around. So I want you to answer my question speaking to all the international students. Speak to us. Speak to our conscience today that when we go back tomorrow, we will remember or will be reminded about the way you answer our question today. So my question is, considering the fact that all of the 3 branches of government that we have had in our country, there is a massive corruption. And at the end of the day, the judiciary system that is responsible to bring justice to the people, there is also a massive corruption. When you take your case to the justice system, they have the saying that say the person who have the money win the case. So it's clear. So at the end of the day, we would love to do jungle justice. We would not love to take our case to the court. So my question is, as ordinary citizen, I want you to speak to me as a Liberian. What do you think I am able to do to hold government officials accountable, considering the fact that the judiciary system that needs to bring justice to the people is also corrupt? What can I do as an ordinary citizen to hold government officials accountable for their corruption, for that corrupt attitude that is holding our country back today? Thank you.
From where?
Murakoze. Amazina yanjye nitwa Rucogoza Herediyoni. Ikibazo nashaka kubaza kiri muri ibi bintu bibiri. Narebye ngiye mbona ruswa hari uguhabwa hari no gutanga. Hari umuntu ubuyifata hari n'uwitanga. Nutureba kuri izo mpande zombi numvaga nari kubaza ikibazo kivuga hari umurongo ngenerwa mwashyizeho ureba abanyarwanda bose cyane cyane barabatuye inyuma badafite uburyo bwo kugera kuri mikoro, kuko tuzi ko hano mu gihugu hari n'abantu benshi batarabasha no kugera ku bushobozi bwo gutunga telefoni barahari batuye mu byaro. Hari uburyo mwashyizeho bwabafasha ku buryo babashije kugira icyo kibazo cyo guhura na ruswa. Ikindi kuko naje kureba nsanga ruswa igaragarira mu bintu by'imico mibi cyane cyane nk'inda nini, umururumba no kwikunda, kuko hari abayobozi benshi baba bari mu nshingano bashyizweho kugira ngo babashe guteza imbere igihugu mu buryo runaka, ariko kubera inda nini n'umururumba no kwikunda ugasanga wenda ahagarariye institution runaka, ugasanga arinjiza mu kazi umuntu bibaye ngombwa ko ari bumwake bya bintu nabashije kubona by'imico mibi, bikaba ngombwa ariyo mpamvu usanga ari byo bibazo ubusanga bigenda bigaragara mu gihugu ahantu hose. Merutse gukurikirana umwiherero ndi mu rugo, numva His Excellency ari gutokinga ku bayobozi bagenda bagirana b'imico mibi. Nge nari nzi ko ruswa igaragara ubundi ku bantu bo kuri level ntoya mu ntara mu makaritsiye, ariko naje gusanga no mu nzego nkuru z'igihugu naho ruswa zigaragara, kuko yabivuzeho cyane. Aravuga ati nimba uri minisita, nimba uri senateri, ukaba wirirwa mu bikorwa by'ubugizi bwa nabi, utazi icyo ushinzwe gushyira ku murongo, utazi icyo ukeneye, uracyari inyuma y'ibitekerezo abantu bagikeneye. Niho yahise abwira senateri Evode, ubumenyi arabufite, ubwenge bwo gushyira ibintu ku murongo arabufite, ariko imico mibi ngo ituma adakora akazi ashinzwe. Icyanyuma numvaga mwatubwiye ngo ubutabera ntago bugurwa, ariko nitugenda tugasubira inyuma kuri ba bantu batabasha kubona kugera kuri microphone, bo akenshi abayobozi babaswe n'umururumba no kwikunda bababwira ko ubutabera bugurwa kugira ngo babahe ikintu runaka, ari uko baba bakishyuye. Akazi karabuze, kugira ngo ubone akazi akenshi usanga ari uko abayobozi bakubwira ngo turabanza turyamane, uratanga amafaranga. Byo mwashyizeho inzego zabikemura gute? Murakoze cyane.
I'm going to give my colleagues a microphone. Our friend from Liberia, Wilson, yavuze ati muravuga ibyo kurwanya ruswa. Hano nk'abanyarwanda bamwe ntimwabyumva, ariko abandi benshi bo mu bihugu bigenzi byacu hari ruswa mu nzego zose, mu butabera, mu nteko ishinga amategeko, mu buyobozi bw'inshinga amategeko, mu buyobozi bwite bwa leta, hari ruswa pe. Ubu nkanjye Wilson nashobora nte kugenda guhagarara nkarwanya ruswa? Mbaye nzi nk'umuyobozi nahera hehe? Twebwe abantu batoya twahera hehe turwanya ruswa? Ubwo namwe abanyarwanda muratanga ibitekerezo, nuko iwacu bidahari. Icya kabiri na bagenzi bacu baratanga ibitekerezo. Icya kabiri cyo mugenzi wacu yavugaga from Rwanda, he was, I think maybe two or three things. One, he was saying that for corruption, he thought that corruption comes from the ordinary people just down there in the village level, like the low people. They are the ones who suffer from corruption. But even big people, it has come to his knowledge that even big people with good positions, with lots of money, having good salaries, they still get involved in corruption. It is a surprise to him that big people, out of greed, self-love, can get involved in corruption. For the people down there, we are talking about here, there is corruption in Rwanda, has this percentage. We have fought corruption, so we are at a good level. But there are people down there who are saying there are no jobs. For you to get your files through channels of work, to get your application free, you must do something. You pay money or you sleep with somebody. So what are you talking about? Here, there is no corruption up here, but down there, people are suffering. What should we do? What should we do? So we know in Kampala, in Uganda, there's a lot of, there used to be, I think, suicides in the city square. There is a very nice city square there, very nice. You know, there is, I think in East Africa, Ugandans are really educated. You will see somebody seated selling newspapers, selling karanga. Do you know karanga, unyobga? Just seated there, selling handkerchiefs, combs, selling nuts. But her English, the English of that lady, Ugandans are really educated, but most of them don't have jobs. So there was a lot of suicides at some point. We used to hear. Corruption, sometimes you are saying, I wish I can have this sex if they call it corruption, and then I have it and then I get a job. That level of desperation. Out of desperation, no, you do not necessarily think of corruption. I'll keep it a secret, but if they can do that, I'll close my eyes. It is so painful, I'll be bleeding, but if I can have a job, I'll take it. I know the scars it will have on me. So some people out of desperation can go through certain things. People have stories, isn't it? So I let my colleagues comment, and then the Sudan wanted to say something. I thought we are coming out of love. You are not in love yet. But if you were in love, you would have invited us again. But you want to. But his love is ending here now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for this chance. Today, I want to say something important. The main problem of corruption in Africa starts from the head of the country. Yes, and of course, if the head of the country is corrupt, the whole agents of this country are corrupted. So, in my opinion, the problem of corruption, it comes from dictatorship, from the absence of democracy, from the absence of power sharing. As Madame mentioned, she was in Khartoum in 2014, and the president in that time was Omar al-Bashir. After 5 years, there is uprising happened, revolution, against the regime of Omar al-Bashir that was ruled for 30 years. And the main reason of this revolution was corruption. So my question is, what is the solution in the case of corrupted political system? The last point that I want to say, when I came here to Rwanda before 6 or 7 months, I was so impressed with the integrity and transparency here in Rwanda, me and my family. So it is not kind of a compliment or something like this, but I want to say Rwanda is a role model for all African countries. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Arakoze. Ndashaka kuvuga amagambo makeya ku bibazo bya wabajije, ariko na commentaire kuri ibibazo byombi. Ku bibazo wabajije, ku nzego zo hasi niho wabajije ngo hari abantu batagera kuri mikoro, batagera gute. Ajya nkubwire ngo uburyo inzego z'u Rwanda zubatse zigera harya hasi. Niyo utuma uzasanga inzego z'umuvunyi bakora inama iminsi itandukanye bakagera hasi. Icyumweru gishize inteko ishinga amategeko imaze iminsi izenguruka imirenge yose ireba ko gahunda za leta zishyirwa mu bikorwa. aho hose hagiyeho kugira ngo umuturage na wa wundi wo hasi abashe kuvuga ikibazo cye. Kugira ngo ubona niyo perezida agiye ahantu agira umwanya wo guha abaturage ijambo. Icyo kigamijwe ni ugutuma buri muntu akora inshingano ze. Iyo dukora ibiganiro nk'ibi ngibi ntabwo tuba tubwira mwebwe gusa, tuba tubatumye. Wa wundi tutagezeho mwebwe mwageraho mumubwire, amenye uburenganzira bwe, amenye n'inshingano ze. Ikindi, amategeko ahana umuyobozi witwaza. Niyo twari tuvuga ngo, muzi ko turahira buri gihe tuvuga ngo kudakoresha ububasha duhabwa mu nyungu zacu bwite. Iyo hari umuyobozi uri gukoresha mu nyungu ze bwite ubuyobozi yahawe, ni icyaha aba akoze. Ibyo bamushinzwe gukora ni kumenyesha inzego zimukuriye, wa muntu ibyo mwamuhaye bigarukiriwe, ntabwo bitugeraho. Icyo gihe avaho akanakurikirana. Icyo numva ari cyo nakigusubizaho. Inzego zirahari, hanyuma kandi twanashyizeho n'imirongo itishyurwa kugira ngo abantu batange amakuru, yaba ku rukiko niba ari bireba inkiko, haba kuri RIB niba ari bireba RIB, haba ku muvunyi niba ari bireba umuvunyi. Ahantu hose hariho amatelefone atishyurwa kugira ngo umuntu atange amakuru ku kibazo yahuye nacyo kirebana na ruswa. Urumva ko twebwe tugerageza gutuma buri muturage atanga amakuru ye kugira ngo turebe ko ikibazo cyaranduka burundu. Hanyuma aricyo wibajije ngo umuntu wo hejuru arya ruswa gute, byaragutunguye n'iki? Ruswa ni umutima. Ruswa ntabwo ari ikintu, ni umutima umuntu afite. Nimweke ni nk'umuntu ukora icyaha. Umuntu ukora icyaha wese, ijambo ry'Imana rivuga cyane. Kristo atubwira ko ikitwanduza si icyo turya, nicyo tuvana mu mutima yacu. Niba rero umuntu muri we afite ingeso mbi zamwaritsemo, nicyo azasohora. Akuzuye umutima kaza n'inyuma karasesekara rwose ahantu hose. Ibyo rero ubwo aba yigaragaje uwo ari we, ahubwo uba ugomba kumumenya ukamenya n'uburyo udiringa nawe. Hanyuma hari ikindi kintu numvise abajene ba Afurika bafite bibaza kandi bakeneye kubona igisubizo. Ikintu cya mbere, mu jene wa Afurika ntagomba kumva yuko ibintu ntibigenda neza, par conséquent nanjye ndarikiye nangiye kuryama, hano singiye nabikoraho iki. Nuko dufite icyo twakora kugira ngo isi ihinduke. Cyane cyane abajene mwize muri za kaminuza, mufite inshingano yo kuba umukiro wa rubanda. Ni mwebwe mugomba gufasha isi guhinduka, kandi izahinduka mwihereyeho. Mbere yo kubona ibyo abandi badakora, mubanze mwebwe mukora mute. Ni mwebwe bwa mbere mugomba kubanza guhinduka, mugahindura mindset, mukumva ko mudashobora kugendera muri ruswa no mu mitekerereze ipfuye y'ababanjirije. Mpamvuga ngo igihugu cyanjye kirimo corruption cyane, ku buryo nabikoraho iki. Icyo wabikoraho nuko wowe utazayijyamo, kandi uharanira kutatuma nabo muri kumwe bayijyamo. None nuhindura bake muri kumwe, muzagira itsinda rishinzwe kuyirwanya. Iryo tsinda rizakomera, rihinduke société civile. Iyo société civile iza influence abandi. Ni mube Bibiliya none ikayitubwira ngo ntabwo umusemburo ugombera kuba mwinshi kugira ngo utume ifu itutumba. Mutangire muri bake, ariko mube umusemburo mwiza uhindura abandi. Impinduramatwara itangira ku muntu igakwira igihugu cyose. Nicyo nababwira, kurwanya ruswa muri Afurika bizabe impinduramatwara. Ntitukagiye dushaka impinduramatwara zivuga politike gusa zindi zidahindura ubuzima bw'abantu. Ko guhindura amatwara ubundi ya mbere ni uguhindura imitekerereze, imyumvire n'imikorere y'abantu. Kandi byose kugira ngo bikorwe tunabigereho ni uko ruswa ijya ku ruhande. Reka no kubarambera ndekera aho ngaho.
Murakoze. I think we are coming to the end. Let us thank our visitors, please. It was a nice presentation. Yes. You have something to say? She wanted, I think, even you to know that we have Legal Clinic Club, where we give free legal services to people who come to us. We even go to different districts. So she comes from the Legal Clinic Club.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yar Maduk. I'm the Students Dean of Law here at UNILAC and the chairperson of the Legal Clinic Club. I know a lot of time has gone and I don't want to waste too much of it, so I'll just rush through this presentation very quickly. As Mr. Robert the Dean had said, the Legal Clinic Club is a club of students here at UNILAC that give free pro bono services to both the students within the university and outside. Before the pandemic happened, the Legal Clinic here at UNILAC was very active. It was helping people in the community. But since the pandemic started, of course, that shut down, and when the school opened back up, it did not continue. So we have started the Legal Clinic Club again. And in fact, next week on Tuesday, we have a community outreach trip where we'll be going to Kichukiro District. We'll be going to a certain area in Kichukiro District with about 15 students. So if you're interested in joining us, please sign up. Use our contact information. You can get them from your CPs. So we'll be going to the communities and giving legal advice to the people out there. Let me just rush through these. So why should you join the club? In fact, this club we're hoping that every single student in the Faculty of Law can join this club. I'm sure Mr. Patrick has given these papers so that you can sign up your names. In the club, we'll be able to gain practical experience, impact the community, and build our network. As you've seen today with our honorable guests who have joined us, thank you so much for coming today and speaking to us, by the way. We'll be having more seminars like this and workshops with legal practitioners, judges, all the people in the legal practice who will be coming and helping us and teaching us all the things that we need to learn as legal practitioners. Aside from talks and seminars, we'll also be having moot courts. If you know what a moot court is as a law student, it's a mock court case, right? So we'll be having those both within the school amongst ourselves and with other schools, as well as our sister campuses in Nyanza and Ramagana. So, as I said, we will be doing pro bono work, which is free legal services, have workshop and events. Okay, sorry, this is very slow. We'll be having pro bono work, workshops, trips, all of these things. So we're hoping that all of you will be able to participate and come for more seminars like this, and we'll be able to welcome the honorable judges. Again, we are in love and we hope that you come back. Thank you so much. And of course, there's one more thing, and this is just an announcement for all the students of law. You will receive the announcement in your group chats later on. But starting from the first Monday of next month, that's the 3rd of March, we'll be enforcing a dress code, which is black and white. I'm sure you've all been informed of the dress code. You have the information in your group chats, which is black and white, black pants, white top with a blazer. As Honorable Judge had said, of course, we're not rich. This is the only blazer that I own. Actually, I have two, just two. So every Monday, I'll be going back and forth between the two blazers. So just try to come fully dressed, come officially dressed the way that you see the dean and the judges and honorable court registrars, to come officially dressed in black and white so that you can at least practice on how a lawyer is supposed to look. You're meant to look sophisticated and well-dressed. So that will be all from me. I don't want to waste too much of your time. Thank you so much for coming. And I'll invite Mr. Mbanda. I believe he has something to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dean, I have heard something. Maybe this regime of Unilaxu is going to make a change. Where I studied, I always knew that lawyers are ever smart. And at times I see people going to present in a shabby dress. I can't give you marks. Thank you for introducing. You must be smart. Lawyers are known to be noblemen. They say it is a noble profession. That's what. Okay, thank you for this program. It is another announcement, maybe to lawyers. If you want to enforce justice, it should start with you. So I have a call. We are having a serious training next week. It will be on Monday from 2 p.m. It is just to fight cyber crimes. And there is another program also which will be led by the government spokesperson. They want to work with us, with you, youth, to see how we can fight for justice. If you see on the social medias what is going on, so we need youth to wake up and be reacting to what is taking place. We always see media, newspapers, people just bring fake news. So we should use our smartphones and our computers to counteract with the fake news, negation, things like that one. So we have the program on Monday from 2. 1 hour will be for the spokesperson of the government spokesperson. Will be here with us, with you students. So I think lawyers will take a lead. Are you ready to be there? On Monday, please. If you're patriotic, be there and you learn. We are used, in fact, you will be the cadres. We are training cadres who will be working for the growth of our country. 2, after that one, Mr. Dr. The other Kenyan is called who? From IT. So the group of our lecturer, IT specialists and others will be training you on cyber crimes, how to fight it. And afterwards, there will be series of seminars and we receive certificates. And these certificates are international. Please, better join as lawyers. So this is my announcement from Students' Affairs. We want to work with the government and see that INLAC also contribute to the growth and development of the country, isn't it? Thank you, people who said Rwanda is good. So join us also to learn from us and especially you people from Sudan. You are more than almost 2,000. So you can make a change. If we have more than 4,000 students, international students from 32 countries, so we can be the yeast of a change on the African continent. I think you can pray for these people, for God to bless them for their wonderful presentation. Isn't it today? Let's stand up and pray. Thank you, Lord. We are grateful for increasing our knowledge and wisdom, as the motto of UNILAC says. We are blessed with these wonderful visitors of high caliber who've come to join us to impart us with more knowledge on fighting corruption, to make Rwanda and Africa a better place to live in. Bless them, bless all the students who attended, bless our university, bless our country. It's a humble prayer in Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.